Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Limitless Being podcast. I am Danielle, your host, here to be a guide for you on this journey of life. This is a space cultivated with the intentions of connection, vulnerability, spirituality, limitless knowledge, explorative conversations, loving guidance, and so much more. I'm here to spread love while activating freedom within the collective consciousness. I'm a digital nomad, an entrepreneur, and a magnetic spiritual being here to help you activate your power to cultivate the life of your dreams. This container I have created is an incredibly safe space for us to have these conversations which lead us toward liberation, acceptance, and radical love of self. If you have found this podcast, it's by no accident. You've been guided here because there's a part of you who's ready to stop making excuses and live the life you've imagined. So join me here every Thursday. Limitless Being community, I want to let you know before we enter into this amazing, incredibly activating spiritual episode that B and I talk about very advanced spiritual practices, magical practices, and different pieces of wisdom. He is, in all versions of the word, an oracle. He is a portal to other realms. He has access to things that we can inevitably all gain access to wisdom and deities and different ancient spirits and ascended masters that come to him in meditation and in other forms and give him this information. So if you were like, what did she just say? I want you to roll with it. Challenge yourself to listen to this stuff and to get curious and inquisitive and be like, okay, interesting. Challenge your belief system. That's what this podcast is all about. It's about being limitless, not limited by the current perspective that you have. So we are going to be talking about very to other people out there topics. For him and I, this is an everyday conversation. But for other people who are at the beginning of their spiritual journey or don't even consider themselves spiritual, to the listeners that are more there towards the beginning, take your time with this episode, take notes, come back, circle back to things, but just know that eventually it all ties together in the end, and he's painting this glorious picture of the new earth, the new world that we are creating and currently living in. So buckle up. We are planting some very high frequency, and he is planting some very high frequency, energetic seeds to expand your mind and your consciousness. Let's go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Limitless Being podcast. We are on episode 12, and I have my first male guest here, Brandon Leslie. I know you by B. You can call him B. He is a psychic, a healer, a musician. And really what draws me to your energy is, number one, just like how loving of a being you are, how open you are, and how expressive you are. I feel like you really are the embodiment of the divine masculine, and we can talk about what that means. And you're also the embodiment of like continuing to change and create and express yourself, whether it's with your music or your outfits. Like, you are showing people that you can go after all of your passions and all of your dreams. And that's where we really connect. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was so sweet.
I mean, I genuinely mean it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. It's so funny to like hear about how we're connected. I think of us as friends, but like,
oh yeah, definitely.
I just want to talk about how we met, which is through TikTok. Like, we've never met in the physical world. We're virtual friends, y'all. I think what happened was I came into one of your lives, and honestly, it's rare to find a male doing readings and healings that don't feel like, the word that comes to mind is like forceful, right? Like
Yeah,
you're so
exactly.
connected. And
Oh,
I just felt really, really safe and really calm in your energy. And then it was just like, I'm like, he's a part of the soul tribe. I need him in my, I need him in my life, whatever capacity. So,
thank you.
yeah.
That's the best compliment ever, and I get that more, especially lately, is that people feel safe around me, and that's cool. You know,
Yeah.
then all the like the barriers and the walls are down, and then the reading comes like
Mm-hmm.
so much easier. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy for women, especially, to
Yeah.
find, like, I like working with male coaches. I like working with male healers if they
Mhm.
have done the work to deprogram, the stigma around having friendships or those types of relationships with women. And so
Mhm.
really, like, it's really special to find a man that's done the work. So we thank you on behalf of all women.
Oh.
We thank you. So what I
Now I
want
just
to
want to help other men
go ahead.
do that. You know, that's my main goal.
Yeah.
Just help the divide.
Yeah.
You know.
Bridge that gap. Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, my question for you, first of all, you're a triple Scorpio. Triple
Yeah.
Scorpio, right?
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling. I was just on TikTok live right before coming on here and I was like, I think that's like a once in a lifetime. You only meet a triple Scorpio once in a lifetime. I don't think I'll
Yeah.
ever meet another triple Scorpio. So, my question when it comes to that is, when did you really get into astrology and get into spirituality and all
Mhm.
of these things that you do now?
Um. So astrology, I'm still learning a lot
Mm-hmm.
about. I I had like I could always see things when I was a kid, and like spirits
Wow.
and I had this weird strange thing is like touch, and if I could like I could tell just by shaking someone's hand if they were like a good person or not, and like
Mm.
whether that like person would agree with me, they would find out like 10 years later or something. Like you were right, you know. Like I just had a really good intuition. Like
Yeah.
my girlfriends would have me read their boyfriends, just like their vibe when I first meet them, you know,
Yeah.
kind of that kind of stuff. And then I had I wanted to be a firefighter,
Oh, wow.
and it yeah, and I went to schooling and like got my bachelor's and was an EMT and did the whole thing, and then I got
Wow.
like DQ'd for ADD or something. It was like a
Mm.
psych DQ,
Mm-hmm.
and then that sent me on kind of like a dark spiral. Like it was really sad, and kind of had almost like a mental breakdown, but may have been my like spiritual awakening essentially.
Mm.
Um, Got really gung ho about opening my third eye before I was ready.
How old were you?
And I think that like was about 25
Mm-hmm.
or something was when it started. And then it was just like fighting the dark side for a really long time. I always describe it as like you have your higher self and your lower self. Like when you open that when you step into that realm, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have your like your higher self, your lower self, and they're fighting for your attention.
Yeah.
You right? And so like you'll soon like stop hearing so much of your lower self to where it disappears,
Mm.
and then all you hear is like a person cheering you on all the time and telling you how great you are, right? So it's just like I fought with that for 5 years or something. Started getting into crystal work,
Mm.
reading like every self-help book I could, then like meditation, like I started doing that, and it was like that saved me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was able to like very easily astral project, like really easily, like started doing that, and then started working at deities
Mm.
about like a year and a half ago, and that's a really cool journey as well. Like the way that is, it's like you're studying with like a Yoda, like, and then they pass you on to the next master, and then they pass you like they're all
So
connected, and they
cool.
like pass me on
Mm-hmm.
from one person to the next. um, and then I did tarot for my grandma taught me how to read tarot, and been doing that for a couple of years, and that's it,
Just
you know.
blossomed. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I want to talk more in detail about your personal journey, because what I
Okay.
really have this platform for is to
Mhm.
like get vulnerable. I mean, I've shared,
Oh.
and you don't have to share your deepest, darkest shit, right? But
Mhm.
just things that are, really relatable for people. Because I think the reason why you and I, we just knew there was a vibe is because I believe we have a
Mhm.
lot of similarities and we've both traversed a lot of darkness. And
Yeah.
I think that's why we have such a calming energy now, because it's like we've literally
Yeah.
walked through the pits
Wild.
of hell. You know what
Oh,
I
for sure.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I'll talk about that for sure. I
yeah.
think for as much as like women and people say I'm safe, like I just was pretty violent
Mm-hmm.
when I was growing up, and I was very much like that toxic mask, like
Mm-hmm.
that everyone talks about. I was that person. I think that's why, like, I think I'm helping a lot of men,
Mm.
get in touch with their feminine side because I was that, and but yeah, I got arrested for fighting.
Same.
Like
Same.
I went sober because I got arrested for fighting, but like I would get in fights. Um,
Wow.
and I don't know where that anger started from. It was mainly just like growing up in a very like Catholic family, and having that strict religious discipline,
Mm-hmm.
and not being able to express myself. Kind of this thing where people like your parents think they're giving you attention, but it's not the attention that you need.
Yeah.
And then you start like acting out in order to get that attention.
Mm.
So I went through that whole stage from like high school. I just met the wrong people and hung out with the wrong people, and it got me into trouble for like the next 10 years. And then I figured it out after I had my spiritual awakening. It was just like uh, became like just softer, I
Yeah.
guess, my energy, and knew how my actions affected others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, been sober for about like a year and a half solid, um,
Wow.
and my life like yeah feels pure
Yeah.
now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that quote where eh, it's like talking about how peaceful somebody is now. And it's because,
Hmm.
people have no idea how much violence it took in order to
Yeah,
create this level of peace, right? It's like that duality of like, you have to go to the pits of hell in order to reach the skies of heaven, right?
dude, it's yeah because I don't know what interested me so much, and I did like competition fighting for a long time. I
Oh,
just
wow.
liked it, and I liked being you know that was almost it was always a defense mechanism because now I noticed like I was like, why couldn't I make this is like so sad. Like, why couldn't I make friends back then,
Mm.
right? Or why couldn't I do that? It's because what you put out is what you receive. So now I smile a lot when I talk to people. Boom. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter if I have tattoos on my head, on my face. It doesn't matter. Like I'll start conversations with anyone, and they're all super nice. It's just what you put out is what you receive.
Yeah.
You know.
Hmm. That's beautiful. That's what I love about people that have tattoos. Like most of the people that I know that are so tatted up, and I actually wanted to talk
Mhm.
about this, are actually the
Yeah.
sweetest, softest, most sensitive souls that I know, like
Yeah.
myself included,
For
So,
sure. It's like you said, it's like those people that had like crazy pasts and they like changed for the better.
yeah,
But yeah, like most of the guys I know that are tattooed are like amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a,
They know themselves. They like,
mhm.
know themselves.
Yeah, it's a
So
representation of never judge a book by its cover. Because you have no
exactly.
fucking idea. Like, this is just
Yeah.
one layer of the thousands of layers that we have as a human being, as a divine being. So,
People are being more accepting of it too. It's kind of like crazy. I've been going out and like and people are like it's actually the head tattoo is really funny. Like
I love
people
it.
talk old ladies and like are like smile at me. It's like so funny. I'm like this is so weird. I do get some looks that are crazy, but yeah, it's people are becoming more accepting. I
Hmm.
totally think that.
Yeah, it takes a certain level of confidence to not give a fuck. If it makes you happy,
Yeah,
I didn't do it for
yeah, that's what I
you
live
or
by.
you. I did it for me.
This is my
Yeah,
movie. Yeah, this is my
exactly.
movie. It's your movie. It's like I I understand how that feels. How like that was like a problem I dealt with when I was younger. It was like the thousand eyes,
Hmm.
like always on you. Like you can just feel people's attention all the time,
Hmm.
and you just have to be like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. And when you like, I would like that helps me kind of like settle back into my energy a little bit
Yeah.
when I do that, and just like, this is my movie, you know, I'm gonna act like it. If I want to like shave my head, like if I want to shave my head, I'm gonna shave my head, and if I want to tattoo my head, I'm gonna tattoo my head, and like I don't, you know, it's just
Yeah.
that's me. Like I always like, I'm a Scorpio, so I like death and rebirth, and like I ruts and like staying the same person forever is just, I hate that. Like I want to
Same.
reinvent myself over and over again. That's part of the beauty of this, like that you can be any, like when someone tells me I have like really big dreams and they're like 43, I'm like 35. Um, but I've had like more success this year than I've had in all my years. Like when I was, you know, so it's like, it's never too late to like do anything. You can reinvent yourself like at any time, anytime. You may have to go like hit rock bottom, but that's even a cooler success story
Yeah.
on the way up. You know, it's like hit that rock bottom, like embrace that. You know,
Yeah.
like sit in it for a second, then like rise. That's the cool stuff. So
Beautiful. I have a lot of scorpionic energy in my chart as well. My north node is in Scorpio. So it's literally like my life path in this life to continuously reinvent myself and go after the craziest, most drastic things. And I think that if you are not worried about achieving your dreams, then you need to dream bigger. Like
yeah,
you and I feel like you and I have hit that rock bottom so many fucking times. And that's also
my
very
God,
Scorpio energy, right? It's the
right
planet.
now even.
Yeah.
Dude,
But
like right now, I've been so hard.
the difference is we're like, woo, we know there's only the only way to go is up from here,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. It's like people just need to learn to enjoy it, and like don't. It's just whatever that phrase is. Be attached to nothing.
Right.
You know, this is all like most of this is temporary. I mean, I just went through a divorce.
What? I didn't know
And yeah,
that.
yeah, and that was rough, and having to uproot my life, but knowing it was the right decision for both of us.
Wow.
And now like I don't know, things are opening up. It's crazy. It's like, and this is not applying to that person at all because I think she's a great person. It's like energy is like a pizza, and if you just if someone can take up the room of four different people, so if like that pizza is like completely gone, you only have like this much left to invest into yourself. So if you're with someone, it's really important that you have that room to invest into yourself, you know. And I've noticed that since like walking away from marriage, you know, is I have a lot more energy, which is another reason I'm doing like a little bit less healing, a little bit less tarot. I'll do it like on the phone and stuff because it's like it's so much energy that people have no idea.
I know.
They have no idea how much your tarot reader and energy worker sacrifices for them, and that needs to be said because like I
100%.
noticed it. Yeah,
Let's go into that.
yeah, we really should talk about it because people are like want to hassle people for. I love doing free readings. Don't get me wrong, but like people want to like lowball you or hassle you. I'm like, dude, you're taking a section of my energy that I could be putting into myself for my own success. You know. So
Do you want to
it's kind of
say?
like
Do we want to say they're taking it, or we're willingly giving it away?
we're
Because
willingly giving.
because there's like a reciprocal energy exchange, right? And so I think this is really key to talk about because my story there, as you were speaking about yours, I just like it's crazy. There's so many similarities, but when I started my business and when I started really tapping into my psychic gifts, which I'm 27, it was only like 3 years ago that I really understood, oh shit, I'm an empath. Like I don't have like bipolar or chronic anxiety or like a severe depression. It's like all of these energies that I'm absorbing,
That's crazy,
right?
yeah.
And then they want to label you as ADD, like you have mental illness, you have all of these
Yeah.
things, when in reality, you just don't really know who you are and how to operate with these incredible fucking gifts that you have. However, when I started my business, and I wonder if this was same with you, like when I started doing these things, I was giving from a place of being a people pleaser.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Right. So now
Absolutely.
where I'm
Good
at
point.
now, I'm like, oh, wait, like I need to conserve my energy. I need to wake up, do my meditation, work out, make sure that my energy is clean, not for me, for my clients.
Exactly.
And I don't think they realize how much like balancing it takes to be that pillar, because we are charging people. We are like literally
Yes.
like charging them, like getting, not charging them money, like giving them fucking energy, giving them hope, giving them inspiration. And that pulls from us,
Oh yeah.
right? It's so,
Exactly. No, I think it's just like that even exchange, and also it's like a good example is like you're say this person is like an energy vampire, and
mhm,
they always call one person, and they're like this is going on in my life, this is going on in my life, but they never ask the person, hey, do you have room for me to call you today?
100%. Yeah.
We just assume that people that are healed are like I'm encountering this with my family, with my friends. Like the masks are all gone now. Like I see you for who you
Mm,
are, and like I know you've been just like taking, and to a certain extent, like I realized that my energy was very precious, and as is
mm,
all of ours, and to just be careful and like not to just give it out and try to distance yourself from people that try to take from that all the time,
mhm.
and it sucks because sometimes those people are in our families and we really can't avoid them, um,
Ah.
in the bubble. Yeah, I know.
Debatable.
Yeah, seriously,
I mean, you could,
yeah,
but it's not the right. Like that's a part of the journey, is being like, I feel like that's a part of the journey when you realize that your family just doesn't support you. You're the generational healer, right? We're the psychic. For me personally, there's no other person in my family, nobody that does this type
mhm,
of work. And
yeah,
so you're so alone and you feel so judged and so misunderstood. And for me, just like you said, the anger, like that's where a lot of my anger came from, was nobody fucking understood me. Right.
yeah. They
And
know I got.
so I think it's a part of the journey where you're like, cut everybody out. I don't care if they're my family, like get rid of
Yeah,
them. My peace is my top priority. But then you realize inevitably you have to circle back in order to confront your biggest
you have to heal it.
triggers.
You have to heal it. Yeah, it's like it's not going to go anywhere. It's like I realize that too. I think a lot of us right now, if I was to say, the collective is going through childhood trauma and like the triggers like
Mm-hmm.
more than usual. Like it's like the focus,
Mm.
and like last like December was the breakaway from your false flame, and then
What?
finding possibly yeah and possibly some twin flame unions, but then also a separation. There's so much that's happened in the past few months. It's been like fucking crazy for like a lot of people.
Well, you know that happened to me, right? The
Yeah,
false, like,
yeah,
dark twin flame thing.
yeah, yeah. That's what happened right around then, and then because that's why I only post. I would like only post like because I like mainly work on my music,
Mm-hmm.
but like I would post when I heard like big things, and it was like there were some key massive shifts that like people were able to take advantage of if they listened and
Mm,
like jumped ship and then tried this. I think a lot of people had some twin flame unions,
mm,
but then like separated because they weren't healed enough or something, so a lot of like up and down. It's been crazy,
yeah.
crazy test. And I think right now it's like you can't avoid it. Like the childhood trauma stuff is like the main focus. They want us, our guides
Mm-hmm.
and the Council of Light, they want us to focus on that right now for some reason.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, where you're at with your journey and your businesses, you're kind of like, you still have your personal practices. You're working with people on the side over phone, working with
Yeah.
men, but you're really focusing on boundaries because
Yeah.
you've realized you've overgiven in the past as well.
Oh yeah. And like yeah, it's been bad because yeah, maybe some of that people pleaser stuff. I always see potential in people. I see their like,
Yeah.
their inner child. Like like you're gonna be so great. You're gonna be so great. You know what I
You
mean?
got
And
it.
then they like the darkness takes over. They get greedy or something, and then it like that's the hardest. Seriously, the hardest thing is watching people go through that process too. That fucking sucks.
Well, I have a
You
question
know?
for you because you have the
Yeah.
scorpionic energy, right?
Yeah.
And that actually triggers people's darkness. Like your light, also as a healer and as a triple Scorpio, can also trigger people's darkness. So they inevitably have to face it. Unfortunately, you probably take the brunt of it, but inevitably, these people transform into the better version of themselves because of that. Do you feel like that applies to you?
So well said. It's like I feel like I'm put in people's life, and it's fucking annoying, but
Same.
as their karma.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get put in people's lives, and it's like they'll see how they treat me. Like my guides are watching through my eyes, and like um yeah, and then like there'll be like this crazy separation. Then that person will go through like their dark night of their soul or whatever, and then it'll like push them. They're very important.
Yeah.
Like God or source knows that they're important, so they put me in their life because they're going to build like a future. Like they'll be really important in the new world, essentially. So yeah, that's been happening. That happens a lot to me. And it's kind of sad because I would really
Me
like to
too.
have some of these things like last longer because it's so great, but it's like usually very short lived. Like I say, people are like trees. Some people are like the roots and they'll be forever. Some people are the branches. Then they'll seem like they're going to be here forever, but they break. And then some people are like leaves and only here for like a season.
Yeah.
So it's you kind of have to live like that, attached to nothing, and
Especially as a light worker and as a healer, which I want to define for people. Most people that, follow us probably know what that means, but
Mhm.
what does being a light worker mean to you and how would you define it?
It's like the Greek or Nordic god Balder. It's like your energy is so bright that it can make other people feel loved and warm
Mm.
and amazing. It can actually like shift them from just being in your presence, right? And like you don't need to do much; you just be yourself. That kind of stuff. Like you said too, it's like our light is so bright that people will take advantage of that, but it can also just like you can shift people just like onto a better path. They'll look up to you a lot of times, or you'll be so strong and they'll really try to make your life difficult as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like um but I think it's just, yeah, you have such a light inside that just being around you kind of makes everyone feel good, and you're a leader. Some of us are just sent here to like um because honestly, like now I believe so much in alien, very connected to that world as
Mm-hmm.
well. It's just like they don't believe humans are learning,
I agree with that.
and that's a hard truth that we need to think about, is that like they don't think that humans are learning. So that's why like light workers were like really born into this generation. That's why there's like this huge surge, is because it was like literally like humanity's last hope, like literally, because
Yeah.
they've been stopping everything from happening. But it's like if they don't believe that we're learning, why would they let stop some of the things that would happen? So that's what we're doing, essentially, really actually changing the world
Yeah.
and the way that helping humans. So,
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I believe that light workers were obviously here to transmute, right? To transform. I believe you agree with this. Like, I've been dealt some really fucking shitty hands. And just like you said,
right.
really dark hands. People try to manipulate us, they try to do whatever. But inevitably, we are also old souls that
Mhm.
are incredibly magically, energetically, vibrationally talented and gifted. Whether we're aware of it in our minds or not, we just have these like gifts to overcome and to transform all of the pain and all of this shit into light and use it as power to propel us forward. And of course,
Exactly.
it's a process to get there, but I also believe that we lead. You said we lead, we're natural leaders, right? We lead in consciousness. Like, I've
Hmm.
always had this awareness, just like you said, you've always been this like sensitive, open portal, right? You've seen spirits, you've been so connected your whole life. And you had the understanding, luckily. When I was younger, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I
Yes.
knew I had this level of intuition and awareness around the government, around like all of the darkness in the world without understanding where it really came from. And it's because
Mhm.
we are of higher consciousness, because we are older souls. And I know that's tricky to say. I don't want to say we're better than or anything, but we just have this higher perspective because of all the
Exactly.
experience that we've had.
And everyone can get there too.
Yeah.
That's what I say. It's like there's no ego here. It's everyone can tap into the exact same things that we do. Everyone can have like work on those gifts. I learned a lot of the gifts, through meditation and stillness. It's just like it'll happen.
Yeah.
There's no rush, but it will happen. Everyone is psychic. I think everyone's born with like 1 to 2 psychic gifts. So like,
Yeah. What are your...
And especially because like what I've learned recently in my downloads about like really us just being part of the first being here, like the actual God, and how we're like descendants of like the Adam and Eve story. So like we are actually God. We are actually God. So it's like when we realize, and that's why they're able to, like the government and stuff, they're able to like get things to happen, because if you pour enough negative news, people will think about it and therefore manifest it. So they're just, because we're all part of that main creator being. So that's why like we're all so powerful. We have no clue, like literally no clue how powerful we are. They just use our power against us.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fear mongering. So, if you can plant, okay, let's think about it this way, because I think this is what you do as well. If we realize that the government is planting the seeds of fear, and they're planting the seeds of pain, and they're planting the seeds of shame and guilt and suffering, light workers are the opposite of that. We're planting the seeds of love. We're planting the seeds of peace. I have chills all over my body. We're planting the seeds of inspiration. We're planting the seeds of what is possible, right? Like,
I had a dream like about 2 nights ago where it was the most crazy dream I've ever had. Can I share it?
Yeah, share it, please.
Okay, this is crazy. I'm in my parents' house and I'm with my parents, and then they disappear all of a sudden, and all of a sudden I see these like bombs dropping, and they're like rows, and they get closer to my house and then finally fall on me, and I die. I can feel myself literally die. And then and I'm having chills right now when I'm saying this. And then I wake up in this room, like this, like almost like a spaceship, and there's 4 people there, and they're like, "You've been asleep for 3 days," and they're like, "This is the actual world," and they showed me what the actual world was, and it's basically that. It's like everyone was getting along, everyone was loving, it was beautiful, it was incredible, and I don't know, like I have still thinking about it. Yeah, like that. It very much exists. Like this world that is like, I don't know all the details because they keep some stuff like kept from me because people tap into my frequency, and so like it's really sometimes I'll go without like any channeling for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then boom, it'll come in like for a week, like crazy. But because people tap into my frequency and they can like hear stuff. So but yeah, that was pretty incredible. Like I saw like the new world, and it's like
the new earth.
It felt amazing. Yeah,
that's beautiful. We talked about on the last episode, I had my soul sister Georgia on, and she's like a new earth leader. She was talking about new earth and what it means. If you guys don't know what it means, go back to the last episode and listen to it. But it's also, I feel like it's not in the distance. Like we are already there. What needs to happen?
That's what I'm saying. It's already
it's already here, and we see it.
Everything shifted. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone. Like I've noticed people interactions, vibration is higher now. Like it's like they're not. I don't know what it is. I think just thousands of millions of parallel universes going on at the same time, and sometimes you just move onto like the higher plane. It's just like that, But I had met with these 4 people when I did one astral projection like about a year ago.
Let's talk. Can you define astral projection for the people that are like, what are they talking about?
So it's like you get deep in meditation, and then you can go places. You just like I feel like my soul kind of leaves my body, and when I work with deities, I meet with them in different places, like different settings. Every single one has like a different, and I'll meet them even in the human experience. They're people like they'll come here as reincarnated humans, and I'll meet them like a lot, and it's pretty funny. I never knew this was gonna be life, but like it's Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it's just essentially your soul, your spirit leaves your body. That's why how I would define it, how it feels,
Mm.
and it goes to places, and you can learn just from different worlds. When
Mm-hmm.
I got this reading done from this woman, Forest Fairy, she's like so good, and she was just saying like you're a portal opener, and you can go to different places and contact different beings. So I've been able to do that, and it's been great. But I've had like some like interactions that weren't so great, like with
Right.
mainly with, like the grays, like the
Mm.
gray aliens and stuff. Like, but for the most part, it's like really nice and cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was told by a psychic on TikTok as well. I met her through TikTok. I feel like all of our soul fam is on TikTok for some
Oh
reason.
yeah,
You can
sure,
just be
yeah,
more of yourself there, you know?
yeah,
It's changing. But she told me that I have been able to astral project and my soul leaves out of the back of my neck. And
cool,
it happens when I'm asleep and when I'm like in trance guiding meditation in coaching calls and in
totally.
healing calls, that my soul goes to that soul, whoever I'm working with, and does energy work on them. And so I've had clients be like, Danny,
That's
you were
cool.
like, I literally felt you. You were here with me. Like I saw
That's what.
you, I felt you. It's crazy. So
That's cool. Do you dissociate a lot?
yeah. Not as much as
Yeah,
I
same.
used to. I'm a lot more aware of it now, but like when I'm like, I just know the soul is psh,
Oh
right?
yeah, same. It happens to me so much. Yeah,
That means
yeah,
our souls are actually in control now and our humans are no longer in control. So we don't really have
yeah.
like, we don't really
Damn.
have, you know, control over what our soul does. It's just going and doing a bunch of healing work wherever it wants.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Yeah. So these are just things
crazy.
that you can tap, like to the people listening, these are just things that you can
Yeah,
tap into with meditation, with practice, with consistency. And I also want people to, you know, really take this part of your story with them and realize, and my story too, meditation saved our lives. It saved my life.
literally.
It saved our
That's it.
lives, right?
Yeah.
And
You have to do it.
yeah. Tell me more
Yeah.
about how it was getting into that practice and, you know, how your practice is now and what you've really gained from it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so true. Like everyone they'll be like, how do I do this, or how do I become clairaudient? How do I tap into
Mm-hmm.
this? How do I step up my psychic gifts? I'm like, it always starts with meditation, and then
Yep.
like we've worked with so many people that it's like the amount of people that don't meditate, like, but they want to do it, and I'm like, you're missing out on a big key component here.
The
Like
only key
it also,
component. It's
yeah,
the
it's the stillness.
only.
It's literally everything. Like the stillness, you have to slow down your mind so that you can hear,
Yep.
and you have to slow down your mind so you can see. So, you know, but it started like when I was going through, yeah, my spiritual awakening, or mental, like literally, my mental thing was so crazy. It was just like I woke up one day and everything literally felt like a movie. Like everything felt like a movie. Like I could notice everyone, and it was really hard, just because I saw the beings here. We are not alone. You
Wait,
know, like
tell
there
me
are,
more
yeah.
about
I mean,
that.
there's just a lot of watchers here. There's a lot of like psychic police here too. People that are just constantly like just watching us, especially as light workers, to make sure we use our power in the right way. Um, Also to like speak to higher ups about like, is this person, like, can we use this person, that kind of
Wow.
stuff. But that is all around us, and I was able to like, I felt it, like, and also like pressure in my chest. Like I can always tell if someone has a demonic attachment or like a spiritual attachment. Like I could feel
Do I
it, and it
have
was like
one?
really hard to figure out what that was. What, do you have one? No, you have the purest energy ever. You're so kind. Like have never felt that
Okay,
with
cool.
you. um but like I just like went through that whole thing, and I started like I used a call map. I've been using that for years. I do like frequency music too,
Mm-hmm.
works really well. I'll do like deity meditations. Um, and I mean, honestly, for anyone like tuning in right now that wants just like know a basic one, you just
Yeah,
like close your eyes. Obviously I like to meditate on my back.
me too.
Like it just works better for me instead of sitting up. And then just imagine like when you breathe in, it's just a white light going down to your feet, and feel the energy actually go down to your feet, because your hands and feet are going to be the first things that light up when you meditate. And then when you breathe out, bring the light back up through your head, just
Mm-hmm.
like a chakra. It's like your center line. Just and do that for 10 minutes. It's like that simple. Um, and people will be like, "Oh, I have ADD," or "I fall asleep," and that's fine
Yeah.
too. It's okay to fall asleep. Like that'll happen sometimes. But if you do it consistent, then it's going to be easier for you to stay awake, and you may actually see
Mm-hmm.
things. Like you'll start seeing things, or you might hear something. And the way I describe it is like Peter Pan. We all just forgot. So you just gotta believe in it, and then like the stories I could tell you are so
So
crazy that like
many,
it's giving
dude.
me confirmations that it's like so real.
Yeah.
And like but yeah, it's just believing in your gift is the power.
Yeah. I believe that the
You know?
process is, of course, in order to gain power, you have to gain control of your mind. And this
Mhm.
goes back to all of the ancient texts, like the spiritual texts, all of the yogis say this, the spiritual leaders, whatever. It's all the same message of like, if you don't gain control and understand this, the mind is very powerful, but it's also only one aspect of you. And if you don't
Mhm.
learn how to quiet it and sit with it and surrender to it and detach from it, you will never be able to create the life of your dreams. You will continuously manifest the negative thoughts, the insecurities, the previous traumas into your life until you learn the lesson and realize that you are not the mind. You are much greater than it. But the mind is a tool, right? And so the process is, you have to be okay with being uncomfortable. I remember sitting in meditation for the first time, like I was so uncomfortable I wanted to vomit because my thoughts were so toxic. Like I was just
Yeah.
spewing constant hate at myself, therefore attracting more of it in my life. But
Hmm.
you have to keep pushing past it. Keep doing it every day, every day. Soon those thoughts will start to release. You'll probably cry a lot. You're going to
Hmm.
heal in ways that we can't even express with language. And then, like you said, the psychic gifts start to come on, and then you get downloads, and then like hearing about guides, I was like, what the fuck is a guide? Like, what is I can connect to
Yeah.
angels, and then you actually start seeing and hearing voices from
Hmm.
your guides and your angels. We all have them. And then this whole realm of magic and spirituality opens up, and you become a completely different person. Like, if you were to have met me at 20 years old, seven years ago, you would want absolutely nothing to do with me.
I saw
Yeah.
pictures, and it's like crazy because that's I could see, yeah, the sadness,
Pain.
the probably, yeah, like attachments. You purged a lot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we definitely have gone through some shit.
Yeah.
Like I could see it. So and now you're just so bright and like living. It's crazy. Yeah. So you should be so proud of yourself.
Oh, thank you.
So proud. I know you
Yeah.
are, but it's like, yeah, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I actually cried for an
Yeah.
hour today, and I didn't understand why. And then it was my higher self saying, like, oh, I'm getting emotional again. Like, you made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything that you've been
Yeah.
through, which is so much abuse,
Mhm.
self-inflicted and inflicted by others, but it's over.
It's over.
And I say that, and I say thank you to you, because you're an incredibly bright light too, and you have such an impact on this world. We need more people. We need more men like you. We desperately do. But we share all of this to show you guys like what is possible for you.
Yeah.
Even if it hurts, even if you have those dark thoughts and you don't want to get up and you don't want to live, like, just keep breathing, keep living, and try to implement the tools that we provide for you in these,
Yeah.
in these episodes.
You're just in prison.
Yeah.
That's basically what it
Yep.
is. When people, like, if I was to describe like what it really is, you're in prison. You have a date that it's set, like that you'll get out. So just start working on yourself, and
Mm,
and it really starts like loving yourself. Self love is a superpower. Like it doesn't. If you tap into that, you start loving on yourself. Like no one loves. So many people don't love themselves, and it's a
yeah.
problem. It's a pro. It's a
It's an
problem.
epidemic.
So yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about that as a part of your journey. When did you
Okay.
start implementing self-love, and how did it feel when you first started doing it?
Um, yeah, it was like I said, like the higher self, lower self were battling hard, um, and I was doing like some bad things around that time. And so I really did hate myself. It was very suicidal. I think I had like just a tendency to like I used to cut myself, even when I was like really young,
Wow.
you know, and hurting myself was a thing. Like I don't like hurting other people. I mean, I had that stage, but like I don't like hurting people. If I'm feeling pain, I'll hurt myself. You know, that's just how it was. And it's it's this. It's just like I started saying, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm loved, and I'm beautiful. I'm kind, like I'm kind. Like you just, it sounds so silly, and people probably like they usually won't do it because it's so silly. But it's like actually we're just reprogramming because your subconscious is like constantly like sputtering off a bunch of bullshit. And like I've even noticed it lately. I don't know if we're just under like some psychic attacks the past 2 weeks, but like it's just you'll hear like usually we're always in control of it now, but yeah, it's like it's just giving off these stupid messages that aren't even true about yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to just consistently tell yourself, I'm beautiful, I'm loved, I'm all like say it every morning, sage yourself, and just say it. It's a ritual. Like once you set that ritual, and like that is what people are attracted to. I'm telling you, it will make you look more beautiful if you love yourself.
Yep.
And it's crazy. Like, yeah. So just, I saw that like work. And now I like if someone compliments me, I'll accept a compliment. I don't go like, oh, like, you know, like when I tell people that, like, accept a compliment. Just say
I
thank you.
know.
Body that shit. Like, body that. Yeah. It's not cocky. It's
No.
good. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure if you went back to your old pictures too, you could compare like the energy and even my physical appearance. My physical
Yeah.
appearance has changed because I used to hate myself and now I fucking love
Mm-hmm.
myself more than anybody in my life ever has, you know? And
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah, but it's like
It's
you're,
plants.
say that again?
It's like plants. It's just like
True.
if you talk shit to the plant, it grows like shit. And if you're like you're beautiful, you grow
It's like,
amazingly. Like it's the same thing. Yeah,
yeah. But it is
it's cool.
cringy at first. All of this
Yeah, it
work, you
is.
have to be able to like get past the cringe. You have to be
Yeah.
able to sit in that discomfort of like look yourself in the eyes,
Mm-hmm.
look at and listen to all of the things that you hate about yourself and choose
Mm-hmm.
love instead. Choose to be like, you know what? No, I love that cellulite because
Mm-hmm.
it's there if I need it, if I starve
Yeah.
one day. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I love
like create a story around why you should be grateful for what you have, your legs, your arms, your body that's living and breathing. Like it's such a Western sickness for us to constantly be reaching for more and never be happy with what we have. When there are people that are sitting in a wheelchair, that are disabled, that only have $1 to their name, wishing they could switch lives with you.
I know. Be grateful. Yeah. There's so much. Yeah. It's like life is. Everyone has their own version of life, you know, and they're all experiencing it differently. So, yeah, we have to be grateful. Gratitude, it goes a long way, especially if you're trying to manifest stuff. Like, just be like, I'm put in your manifestation, I'm grateful now that I have. Or just say, put gratitude in it, it'll work. It works a lot better than demanding.
Yep. Gratitude every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, come on.
Okay, so I do have a question because I feel like
Yeah.
some of the listeners kind of circling back, I have ADD too. So we're like, the way I speak to my people, that we have like 15 different conversations going at once, and then we'll like jump back and forth. So
Yeah.
I know you're
No, I
following
love
me.
it. I'm following you.
Deities. Let's talk about that because that's actually something that really attracted me to your work. I was like, because I was just getting into guides a couple years ago.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
I was like, he works with Lilith, or what
Yeah.
does that mean? How do you do it? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I'll give you the guidebook
Yeah.
here. Okay, so it's pretty cool.
101
You'll
for the kindergartners.
what, yes, exactly. So deities are God. Like I believe in. I don't believe in monotheism. So I think there's multiple gods. There's many
Yeah.
gods. And so I got turned on to the to deity work because I kept seeing what they'll do. It's kind of funny. It's genius, right? Like, and you can only tap into this if like you've done like the work we're talking about. But like you slow down your mind and then you start noticing stuff with your clairvoyance,
Mm.
right? So it's like I noticed keys rattling all the time. Like they were like showing me keys all the time. Like people walk by me and like rattle the keys, like stuff like that. Now it was weirding me out. And then I went on top of. I was on like a third floor apartment, the top floor, and on top of my like on the roof, someone had made a Hecate
Oh, I love Hecate.
shrine.
I was heard
Yes,
last year for Halloween. Yeah.
really. That's crazy. I actually know someone that did that too. That's great. I think it was last 2 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, and I looked like, and then I found out that a couple of her other like symbols when she's trying to reach out to you, like I'd seen it in my reality or whatever. So she was the first one I worked with.
The goddess of
Um,
witchcraft, correct?
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And she's like very, I would say like her forte is just purging. It's just like that. At least that's what I did for myself. I just like she helped me. She would do stuff like this, like okay, so you walk in, you walk through this portal, and you walk down 5 steps. I remember like just so like crystal clear,
Mm-hmm.
5 steps, and then it's like very dark. It's just a cave, like a very like, and it's super dark. And then you walk up, and there's a gate, and then she has like 3 hellhounds, and then you have to give the hellhounds like 3 memories that you want to sacrifice or purge. And then once you do that, they open the gate. And then you walk and she greets you, and then she takes you up to this like little spot. And then she had me do the same thing. She's like, you can do it the same memories or 3 different ones. So I did it. We'd usually do it 3 different ones because I was just trying to purge as much as possible. And she puts it in this like cauldron, like would like stir it up, and then a color would come out, and it would be a different color every time. And then she'd say like, breathe it in. So I like breathe in my trauma that had been transmuted, breathe out, then wipe it all over your face and your body. And then I get the children out too. And then she'd be like, okay, that was it. That was class dismissed. And then I walk out the portal, wake up. And then I
Wow.
worked with her for like 5 months, and then she just passed me on to the next one, next one, next one. And yeah.
Who are you working with currently?
I would say like my go-to is just because we're just so close is Papa Legba. Just like he's just like a
What's
brother,
his
kind
name?
of like our father figure, Papa Legba.
I don't know if I've heard of him.
Um, he's a Loa, and he's just yeah, he's great. It's been don't work with him like everyone. Don't work with him if you're like new. He's like very
Advanced.
he's known as a trickster. So like you want to be very careful. Make sure you're fucking pure of heart, pure of soul, or some of these deities will mess you up. I'm just like that's a straight up
Okay,
like
yeah,
warning. Yeah,
we need to make
yeah,
sure we're telling people
yeah.
that.
Yeah, just like make sure that deity work is like you do that like it should be like when you've had a good amount of spiritual like
Awakenings, enlightenment.
exercise and work and stuff, and if you want to tap into that world, then you tap into that. But like some of them are, you know, there's closed practices too, so you have to like adhere to that. But I work
Wow.
with him, and then Kalima was I was working with her. She like
Kali,
just
yeah?
like yeah, just
Yeah.
like cut my life in
I've worked with
half.
her too.
Yeah, she'll destroy everything in your life.
That's the
Like,
Pluto
but in
Scorpio
the
energy.
yeah,
Death and rebirth.
yeah.
Wow.
Um, and Shiva, and then
The goddess of
I
dance?
mean, like, what?
Shiva's the goddess of dance, yeah?
Yeah,
She's one of my guides.
yeah, yeah. And honestly, it's been like that's been it. I haven't like I'll meet with him. I've been meeting with him a lot more lately, Papa Legba, and then but the other ones I'll go back to Hecate every once in a while, and like I haven't really worked with Lilith in a while,
Yeah.
but like I still talk to her, and So it just depends what you need and what your path is.
Yeah.
Like, because there are some here that are like, I mean, Lilith is like half demon, half angel, you know, and there's some that are like, you know, like duality, and it just depends what you want for your path, right? And there's nothing wrong with being half demon. Like a lot of us are fallen angels and Nephilim and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it doesn't matter. But what aligns with your path, and you just got to be aware of that, you know.
Yeah. So deity work really comes after a lot of it's like way advanced, you would say.
Yeah.
It's like after the inner work, after the purge, after you start connecting to higher consciousness, but this is just these are the levels that you can reach, you know? And it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've had a lot of mentors in this life, like human mentors. Obviously they're super, I mean, I feel like they're very very tapped in spiritually. Maybe they were a deity reincarnated, but it sounds like your mentors have been really mostly in the spiritual realm. Would you say that that's true? Did you learn all of what you know from other realms?
That's it, dude. I don't follow spiritual leaders. I mean, it's like you and I connected, but I don't follow because honestly, if I was a reptilian, like the first thing I would do is create a religion, and then the first thing I would do is infiltrate that religion with wolves and stuff. So like we have to know that there are some people that don't have the best interest for us in the spiritual community.
100%.
You know, and so that's like something we really need to do. And so like if you resonate with it, just are they acting? Just like straight up be like, is this person acting or are they real?
Yep.
You know, use that intuition. But yeah, I try to get all my downloads. Like I know just from like source, and that's like I mean I've learned stuff from other people for sure.
Right.
In the physical, you know, but and I've talked about those things that they've taught me as well. But yeah, a lot of stuff I get from is from like deity work.
That is
I do.
so fucking cool. I haven't been working with them a lot. When I was living in Costa Rica, the spiritual energy there is literally insane. And, you know, with as much light energy that is there, there is equal amount of dark. And I feel like we can talk about that in a sec, but I was really working with deities and like having goddess cards out. And I think we have the same deck, the goddess deck, the divine feminine. Yeah, we have the same deck. And so the first work ever that I started working with a deity was before I went to Costa Rica. My friend was like, you have to work with Lakshmi. She's the goddess of abundance. I like just started working with her. I put her on the altar. I started giving her like dates as like you give them offerings. And it's just, think of it as like a higher vibrational energy that you're inviting into your space, and then they're going to support you. Right. And so that month, I like had the highest month of sales that year. Like that was the same month I like cut my relationship, quit these jobs, all these things, started working with Lakshmi. And then I had like 15 clients be like, I want to work with you. And I was like, I just started working with her for 3 days, you know, it was crazy. And then Lakshmi. Yeah. She's the goddess of abundance. And then working with Kali, that Kali energy I've had multiple times because I love the death and rebirth shit. I'm like, let's go. But it is intense. Just to give that reminder to the listeners again, it is intense. Know what you want to call into your life. Get a deep understanding with the energy you're manifesting in a sense, right? But I love it because it puts your perspective outside of the human experience, and it taps into something that's way more powerful and infinite. So
that's all it is. It's like that's what people try to do when they go to church on Sunday. It's like they're trying to bring that God, but yeah, there's other gods out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of the gods that we pray to are false gods. So we don't even know that. And it's like, so yeah, you're essentially, when you work with a deity, they're giving you an energy to, like she said, it's perfect. Like you're just, they're going to give you an energy that you can bring in, and it's going to be like almost godlike. So they'll like, you know, be able to accomplish so much more. Yeah. I need to do that more, like abundance, like gods of abundance and stuff. I'm always like doing something out. Like wanting to learn magic or something,
Right.
or how to do foils or something. But I need it. This is a part of my life where I'm trying to bring in more abundance into my life right now.
Mm.
Like I've been helping so many people, but I'm going to focus a little bit on myself.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
I'll try that.
And just for the skeptics, because I know I'm very aware how woo-woo this episode is. And because you and I, we pop off. Like
Oh
we're
yeah,
all in
yeah.
I would live in the spiritual realm if I could. But for the skeptics, I want to invite like a scientific perspective into
Oh
it.
yeah.
A lot of it is work with the subconscious, right? So if you believe in the placebo effect is like, you can hand me a pill and be like, this will heal all of your pain. And because I immediately form that belief, I'm going to take that pill and all my pain's going to be gone, right? Same with, just like you said earlier, like same with this type of work, you have to believe that it works, and it will. You have to believe
Yeah.
that it works. These are all tools. They're divination tools to connect you with the divine. And as soon as you have that belief that this is going to work, whether you're doing candle magic, I mean, you're a warlock, I'm a witch, like, let's be real. Whether it's like candle magic, writing out manifestations, quantum leaping, visualization, you have to believe that it works, and it will.
Oh yeah, it will.
Yeah.
That's so true. The placebo effect. It's like exactly. It's a Neo from the Matrix when he's trying to jump from one building to the next, and Morpheus jumps and he makes it, but then he doubts himself before he jumps and he falls. It's essentially like, yeah, plugged in. Just believe you can do it. You can. I've had stories where like
Miracles.
I've cured people.
Same.
Like I've cured people of like cancer. And it's really weird to say that out loud, but like I did that in like a month ago, and I've done that for people.
Tell me.
Like I'm working. Like I did. I started channeling Jesus's energy, right? And I realized that someone told me like you need to channel a deity or an ascended master when you do healing. So I started doing that like a few months ago, and I did this new form of Reiki that was just like, it was just like what they told me to do, and they were having me point symbols, make symbols on like each chakra and building it up from the root up through the head, and then like focusing on gold, and then like I could feel everything, like I could feel all like the
Toxin,
like some disease or like demons, I don't know, like going into my hands would hurt, and then I'd like shake it off and go up to the neck and then build that energy up, and then it would bring more in there, and I'd like shake it off, and then all the way through. And I did it on this boy who was like diagnosed with leukemia. And his mom, like, she was like, you have to help me, like, you did this, can you send like some type of blessing? I did it, and then 2 weeks later she came on my live and was like, you cured my son. The doctors don't know what happened, but like all the cancer is gone. So it was because I believe so much in myself and what I can do, and I've done it for people. Like, say someone had a headache, just like I put my hands on their head and I could take it from them. Just what Jesus essentially did was like
an alchemist.
Yeah, I think he was with deities as well. To be honest, I think he was working with like lower ones too and high. Like he was doing both, and he would just like bring it in and then transmute it, bring it in, transmute it. Like that's what I did, and I've done that a couple of times, and it takes a lot out of me though. It's like a huge energy sacrifice, but I've done it like a lot, and it's really trippy, but yeah, you just believe in it and you can do it.
I am so happy you brought this up, because I feel like I kind of recently like swayed away from, or I forgot why I started doing this work to begin with. And it was exactly that, because I believe in miracles. I believe the body and energy has the capacity to heal us. That's why I do Reiki as well. That's why I do all of these things. It's like that was the exact reminder that I needed of why we do this work, because miracles are happening every day. The medical field wants to call it spontaneous remission, but you and I have both witnessed people heal right in front of our face. Like I had a client that had an extreme gastrointestinal disorder. She was in pain every single day. Her mom and her grandma passed away from this same disease. And just with 4 weeks of meditation and subconscious programming, like believing that her body could heal itself, it went away entirely. all of the indents and like sores that were open in her gut closed and formed scar tissue. And her doctor was like, "What did you do? I've been working with you for a decade." Like they thought that it was going to form into cancer, and then it
Wow.
completely went away. And we say this because everything that you have been taught or told in school around your health, around the body's limitations, around the mind's limitations, around your life's limitations are a fucking lie.
Yeah, it could save your life.
Yeah.
This could save your life. Like I'm not even kidding. I've always felt a dark energy when I go into anywhere that's like really medical. I don't. It's not
Same.
like I don't believe in it, but there is something people need to realize, like what's really going on, and yeah, start healing yourself. You don't like. I don't know why my mind's going to this. Is totally off topic, but like
Go for it.
everyone wants to talk about Baal being like the god that everyone sacrifices, like the Hollywood elite a sacrifice to. But Yahweh is a god of sacrifice as well, and they are both the same. Like there is like something there that I've like recently discovered.
Wait, can you tell me? I'm completely lost. I have no idea what you're talking about. So can you tell me more about this?
So like the beginning of time, right? There's this being that came down here, and I think that he was actually the God, like God, the one that we envision God to be, like loving everything, androgynous too,
of course,
was male and female. Yeah, split into Adam and Eve. Then we're all descendants, so we are all like connected, and we all have this godlike power. We just don't even know it. Like that's what I'm saying. So yeah, if you believe it, and the world's just gonna the way they're able to get you is like the programming can actually hurt you. Like if I was to say you're crazy, boom, it's like oh, like that sends like energy waves through your whole body, and to go it's so easy to stop an uprising like that by just saying you're crazy, or like I get it all the time, even from my.
But we are crazy though.
Yeah.
In the best fucking way.
Yeah, in the best
I
way.
own that shit.
Yeah. But I think that what happened was when that androgynous being came down here, and this sort of I'm being told, like, is that there were people here, there were beings here, probably like Anunnaki, and they split them into two, and then they created religion, and the God that we worship on Sundays is not the actual God that created the universe, but a false God.
I believe
and
that.
The crazy thing about this, he got demoted. This happened about like 3 months ago. The world is like about to change like so much. So that God got let go. Like, and so now like there's like we can't say Jesus. We can say like Jesuses, or there's multiple of them.
Multiple
like
ascended masters.
Multiple gods. Yeah, multiple like light workers like are now like. Yeah, we're living in this new world, but that God, that false God, was the reason. And one could ask, like, why, if there is this all-knowing God, why do kids have cancer? Why are there wars? Why are there all these things that are happening? These atrocities. The world's in such a bad place. And so, yeah, he got demoted, or she, I don't know. And now it's like this whole new landscape for an amazing world. Like, so, yeah.
No more divisiveness.
Yeah, no more divisiveness.
Wow. I believe it.
Yeah.
And to talk about, because I want to segue, because you're obviously this amazing healer. You do all of this incredible work. You are way, way more like connected and tapped in than I even thought. Like you're way more. No, for sure. Receive that.
Thank
you're
you.
Like, I mean, it's so cool. I've definitely learned things from other realms and stuff. And I get that. But like to know that all of your mentors have literally been like spiritual advisors in the other spiritual realms and deities and God, like that, you are next level, brother, like next level. So I want to say though, besides all of this amazing work, and you and I could talk for hours and hours and hours about everything that you've done and accomplished and helped people to heal through, you're also this dude, your beats are sick. Like you're this musician. He makes these crazy beats. You're in a band. You do all of this amazing stuff with music as well. Music was my first passion. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
like
you're telling me you're a DJ.
Yeah, I want to DJ. That's going to happen. I'm going to be DJing around the world, doing like deep house yoga, putting that out there. But music was probably the first thing that saved my life. And so I
Mhm.
want to segue now into your music career and,
Sure.
how you're being a light worker you're living in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, yes, I'm like currently like kind of bouncing around places. Like I have like a couple things like this. I have a deal coming in that's like gonna give me what I need to like sustain my life for like the next few years. Fucking
Congratulations.
great.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
But I'm just waiting for that to come in, so I'm like
Yeah.
bouncing around places. But yeah, music, right? This is a vibrational war. That's like what
Yes.
we're encountering. It's a vibrational war. If like the government and religions can blast you with enough guilt and shame and dissonance, like you'll never second guess your life, and you'll just live 9 to 5 for the rest of your life, and then reincarnate because you didn't heal anything. It's
Mm.
like the greatest plot of all time. So like my thing is my hands, right? Like anything I create, my hands can like. Does like a lot, right? And so music, I want to like I think if I blast it out, where it's going right now, it's like growing so much. I mean, like we played with Zed, we have
You played with
like five
Zed?
shows. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, and we have like 5 shows. We're going all the way to New York. We're doing like touring. Um, it's really like Evening Elephants. That's my artist project. Where
Mm.
it's really vibrational music. It's great and done in a way to where like it doesn't feel like it. Like it still feels that's a trick,
Mhm.
like make it so cool. So where it fits in that and people wouldn't even know and then are waking up like Bob Marley or something,
Yeah.
like they used all that like 728 frequency. So I do that with all my music. I make it like a certain frequency, but you don't even know it because I'm tuning it down just a little bit. So it's hitting frequencies in your body, and that's why people
What?
say you're Evening Elephants. They're like, why do I feel so good when I hear it? It's because I'm making it healing frequencies. But yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
fucking cool. I didn't even know
Thank you.
that about your work.
Yeah. And so it's like it's in there. It's just hidden. So and then I want to go into just like the darkest parts of the music industry and places that need guidance or just like love. And and I'm doing that, which is great. And I make I'm a producer. I make beats as well, and that's been fucking amazing. I love that so much. And just like working with different rappers, and that's like great. So yeah, just the main goal is to like be put in front of everyone so that I can guide the divine masculine just by my vibration. Like, and my partner Sam is like the best example of a divine masculine as well. Like, there's no coincidence that those 2 people are putting in like an artist project,
Mhm.
and then we've gotten like kind of the opportunities we've gotten because it's like the universe, like source, is pushing us. Like, it's going to be a very big project soon, and like I can feel it so much because of the need for it,
Mhm.
to help the masculine like heal
Mhm.
and stuff, so that there isn't such a divide, But I mean, most of that divide has been caused by the like the fact that people aren't with who they're supposed to be with, truthfully,
Hmm.
and like that's caused most of the
What do
pain.
you mean by that?
So I think like with this false god, he was making us like stay with people that like were karmic, all this kind of stuff, and people were not finding who they wanted to. And because of religion, they would stay in a relationship. Because of marriage, they would stay in a relationship and then be reincarnated
Yeah.
over and over again. That's the goal of them, is to keep you reincarnating here. Because if they do that, then you're their slave. Essentially, you're their energy slave. You'll work 9 to 5. You'll do this and never question it forever. You won't heal anything, and you'll just be a mass consumer. That's what they want. But then like you break out of that and you're like, wait, this is really stupid,
Yeah.
And I can do the same thing from home, or I can heal this, and so
Yeah, they want you to stay in the
I'm rambling.
no. They want you to stay in the karmic loops. That's one thing I
Yeah.
look back before I moved to Costa Rica. I was in a 4-year relationship, and no shade to my ex, but like I look back at the love that I've experienced after that, and I was like, what was I doing? that wasn't real love. I was literally in a 3D. I'm this like super spiritual person. I have been for years and
Oh
years,
yeah.
right? And I was in this like 3D. We go, we get dinner, we watch movies, we drink a lot, and we talk about money. Like, what?
Yeah.
And but I felt like I was so stuck. And I was like, I knew before we even started dating that I was not supposed to be with this person. But it felt like I was like forced into it and then like forced to
Wow.
stay. And the one
It was a lot.
thing that I manifested, because I was like, my one like off limits thing is cheating. And so I was
Hmm.
like, the only way out is if he cheats, and he cheated. And I was like, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Obviously
Yeah.
not hallelujah at first, but
Yeah. Yeah. But it
also,
gave you the out.
yeah, it's the non-negotiable for me. Like, you can
Yeah.
communicate with your partner and you can be like, listen,
Mhm.
there's these feelings, like maybe we can change the definition of the relationship or whatever. But just be honest. Like, you don't have to cheat, right? And that happened. And
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
I say all of that because I don't know why I got so detailed into that, but
No.
I say all of
No.
that to be like, I felt like I was stuck in those karmic chains that would have kept me small forever.
Mhm.
And now I'm
Yeah.
actually my true self. And so,
You're gonna do some big stuff. Like I keep hearing it. I keep when we're talking right now. I was like hearing things. I think like really big, like growing huge followings. I don't know. I keep seeing it
us
in my
too. You already
head.
have a
Yeah.
pretty big following. Yeah.
No, it's like I'm sorry. I'm rebuilding like from the beginning right now. Like, but it's like great. I love that. But it's like I'm see you kind of. I don't know why I keep seeing you like on like literally like on E or something. There's like something where you are reading people like are doing spiritual work. You're gonna write a book.
Yeah.
Did you want to write a book?
Yes.
Or have you already?
I'm
Yeah, you're gonna write a book. It's gonna be really successful. You're gonna like it's gonna be in a way that you're I like that the way you talk about spirituality too. It's very humble, informative. Like you're gonna write a book. It's gonna be really successful. You have something on TV that I'm like seeing in my head. So yeah, you're gonna do that
I'll
shit.
receive that. I'll receive
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's
I
yours.
think when I was younger, because I'm a Leo, so we got that like big ass energy, right? When I was younger, I was like, I want to be famous, like yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah,
realize I don't want that at all, because with that, I mean, and you see it where you're at in the music industry, with that exposure, that level of exposure. I mean, I can handle it if that's where I'm supposed to go, great. But I'm no longer manifesting it because number one, like it was coming from a place of not being validated within my own self and not loving my own self and needing that outsourced validation. And number
yeah.
two, being like, tell me what you see, like in the industry, in how famous people get. Let's talk about the darkness that comes with the fame, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I
But
think,
also, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
yeah, you got it. Or I saw it. It's like not even, you don't even say thank you. It's like when I see things for people and they always come true.
Mm.
Yeah, the music stuff, like, yeah, it's a dark industry for sure, but it's changing. It's having to change because, like, the originals met. Like, the originals, like back to Adam and Eve have met in this generation, in this lifetime. Like, the originals have met. So it's like they
The
can't
original
even
twin
do,
flames.
yeah, the original Twin Flames met. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So it's like they can't do that's creating the god that was split. So it's like now like every dark entity that's trying to control humanity, like all that stuff, it's failing like really really fast. Um
Wow.
so they've even like I can hear they're like I don't know. It's like things are changing because there's so much shit that happens in the music industry, like so much sex sacrifice
Satanic
and
rituals.
yeah,
Yeah.
really like I don't know if that's just in every industry, but there's just a lot of that like sex sacrifice. Like I have power, we do this, I'll give you this kind of stuff. But then when I asked like my guides what that really was, they were said electricity of being, like your energy.
Hmm.
So um, yeah, super weird. But yeah, I think it's just there is like we are right for thinking some shit like really dark happening, but it's we don't even need to fixate it on it anymore because it's like they're falling apart.
Mm.
And like what's really going to happen is a mass exposure of like all these really bad people, and it's kind of already
Yeah.
happening, like and good. And what's cool is like there's just going to be so much better music out there coming out because there's not a cabal like or this huge these people controlling everything that goes into what we hear. Like people are going to be given a chance, and um, yeah, so it's going in a better direction. I feel like they know like what I can when I tap into their frequency, they know that like change is coming. They have no choice. Like it's actually pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's already
Yeah,
here, right? It's already
yeah,
here. The
yeah.
2020 was like the catalyst for the visual
Mhm.
acknowledgement for people. That's when I really went into my I guess we're going to go here for a moment, my rabbit hole. Like I lost my jobs and I was still in school, but it was online, and so I had nothing to do with my time besides like
Mhm.
research, because as soon as I can't even say it, as soon as the whole epidemic of that virus happened, my gut was like,
Mhm.
this is fucking bullshit. There's something else that's going. It's not fucking bullshit, but like there's something else that's going on.
Yeah,
They're lying to us.
yeah.
And so I went down this rabbit hole. I found Pizzagate, and Pizzagate took me to all of these other rabbit holes of like Hollywood and the satanic leadership and the satanic cult and the Illuminati and
Mhm.
all of these things. And yes, it is a
Mhm.
very, to just kind of like summarize it, it's a very, very dark, sell your soul to the devil has been a phrase our whole lives before we even like really knew what it meant. Sell your soul to the devil. We've all heard
Yeah,
that, you know?
yeah. It's your it's a electricity of being. As they keep saying, your body's electricity,
Mm,
your energy imprint or something.
mm,
And it's so stupid because that's like that God doesn't even have any power. Like doesn't even have any power that we're sacrificing to or whatever.
mm,
Why would he need it? Why would he need that from us if he didn't have it?
mm.
So it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like bye,
Yeah.
like you're gone, you're gone. That's what I'm saying. Like when he let when that person got demoted, it was like life is you. We'll see how crazy like music, how great it's going to be. I mean, we've noticed that just even everything like cinema and like it's just all kind of gone downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to creative stuff, so it's like time for like the new people to kind of take over.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
so your inputs are everything. Like what you listen to, what you watch,
Oh yeah.
the conversations that you have. You're saying we're an electrical being, so everything that we're intaking is
Mhm.
affecting that electricity, whether it's good or bad. And so
Yeah.
you're saying that the music industry, a lot of their intention is to push out negative vibrational stuff to keep us at a low frequency and to keep like what, emitting violence or
Yeah. Easily to control. If you're not centered, you're easier to do something. It's easier for you to do something stupid and mess up your whole
mm-hmm,
life, or like do something that sends you down a dark spiral for a few months and gets you off your track. It's like if they cause enough dissonance, yeah. And also like we're all really good at manifesting. I mean,
mm-hmm,
because we all come from that God, so it's like we can think. It's like like the one of the strangest downloads I got was that like Putin is actually had passed, and that was using body doubles, and that's like funny because a lot of dictators and rulers did that,
Joe
and
Biden.
yeah, like literally, yeah, they like I'd heard that he'd passed, so they're using body doubles to perpetuate a war that like they want to put into all of our minds and everything so that we manifest it and make it happen.
Wow.
And they'll do that even when like a world leader might be passed or whatever. But yeah, that's all it is. That's like what I learned when I tapped out of the matrix. I learned exactly what they're doing. And that's all it is. It's a vibrational war, and um, that's why too. It's like if you listen to music, how complicated it is. But like frequency music, it's just one note, and why that does something so crazy to you of just one note. Or when I wrote Lilith's song, it was two notes. It's just like that kind of thing of just long, like it doesn't take much to align us. It's just a bunch of stimuli. A bunch of that is like hitting us all the time, and that's why we can set us down like dark paths and all this stuff.
Wow. So you're literally a light worker that has been placed in the music industry with, and your intention with your music is through utilizing this high vibrational, like the frequencies, right? The 528, the 7, the 888, whatever they are, is to help increase the consciousness and help to align people through your music.
Yes, through a mass, like through a ray gun that just like shoots all over the world. Like, you know, like I mean, it's, and I've been enticed by that, like those Illuminati and stuff. Like, it's definitely been there. I've seen it. It's like, it's real. We can all believe in it. It's like, it actually is real. The reason I don't focus on it is because it is dismantling, and they have no choice because, like I said, the originals have met. So it's like they have no power anymore. But yeah, it's definitely been there, and I'm thankful that I didn't take the bait like ever. But definitely had a lot of those situations that were really weird. Like, you walk into a house and they have like the symbolism like that. They have like statues with that, and like their stuff.
But it's false power.
It's false power because that God doesn't even, the one they sacrifice to, doesn't have any power. But it's just like a hoarder of the apples of Eden. Literally just like, you know, didn't, and then got overthrown. So it's just, yeah, it's like, we think everything's crazy for us, but can you imagine for the other side what they're thinking? They're losing complete control, and they're probably freaking out, you know, and they are.
But their control was merely based on an illusion, and that was through fear.
Yeah.
Fear is just an illusion.
Yeah, exactly.
And love, we're in the age where love is winning. Love is winning, and it's always been more powerful. It will always be more powerful. And I really can't wait to see what continues to unfold. And you are I've been so emotional today. You are such a key part of this. Like, you are able to reach the masses with your music and to fight against that, because I know, like, the certain frequencies in rap, I mean, he who shall not be named was talking about it, and then he literally, like, you know, is missing now, like the real Kanye. And it's like all of these people that try to speak out about this stuff, they get shunned. They get shunned.
But they don't have the power that, like, some of us, like, with our hands. And literally, like, it's kind of crazy what the kind of gifts that we've been given. We can like break energy sources to people and their contracts. Like, they can't even, they're scared.
They should
like
be.
The magic hits now.
They should be.
So it's like they can't do it. And I've seen it like in front of me over and over again. And it's like, it can be like this, and all your abundance is turned off, and then boom, it's back on, like that kind of fast. Like, some of us have aligned with those gifts now, and so like, and we're put into like some of the darkest parts of the world, and we're gonna just like shine out, and like, you either work with us or not. Like, that's okay, but you, like, there is no choice. There is no choice, and it's like like a complete takeover.
You realize there's no choice. There's no choice for us too. Like, a part of us chose this life, but ultimately it's our dharma. It's what we're supposed to do here. And my roommate, Izzy, she's also my assistant in my business. She was like, why is he still in the Matrix? Because we were talking about you, and I was like, I'm so excited to interview him. She's like, why is he still in the Matrix? And I was like, because he needs to be there. Like, we need him in LA shining his light, you know?
I'm choosing to do it because that's what people say to me. My mom's like, why do you have to save the world? And I'm like, that's because things need to change. Because people have been using, like, because literally celebrities are sex trafficked by the elites. We don't even think about that. Yep. We think that they're just like living this lavish life. They're like literally sex trafficked by the elites, and that's how they get their fucking careers paid for. And I'm gonna end that shit. Like, where people are like, that's the only way you can make an industry, and it's like sacrificing your energy. So like, yeah, like they're putting me in there, along with a lot of the people, like even Sam, my partner, can talk with his mind too. Like, he can do everything. He's very powerful. Wow. So it's like we're all like, yeah, we're like, it's gonna be pretty fucking cool. Wow. But yeah, I feel like I want to. I feel like just save the world, like help the world in a way that is like the most like how do I do this with the biggest like impact? And it's got to be like music in some way because that would like the vibration. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
So amazing. All right, I have 3 more questions for you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
Number 1, what would you say? Okay, I want you to put yourself in the position of people that like
Okay.
are at the very beginning of their spiritual journey. What would you say
Okay.
to their skepticism in listening
Okay.
to what we've talked about today?
What do you have to lose? You know, what do you have to lose? It's not like you can try it. Just try it and see if it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Your life has been this so far. Like that's what I say. It's like you have nothing to lose and only so much to gain. Like you can just gain so much from doing this. So try it. And don't put people on a pedestal.
Yep.
Like don't put me on a pedestal at all. Like don't put any
me
of
on a
these spiritual.
pedestal.
We are the same as you. Just like you can do the same thing as we do. I don't want to intimidate you. I just want you to be able to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah, that's why I vibe with you so much because you are humble. I am humble.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I think there are like you said earlier, to bring it back, there are a lot of actors and actresses and false light.
Oh, yeah.
So, just be aware of that as well. And I would say all of this is like planting seeds for you guys. You might not fully understand it right now, but as you get into this work and you go deeper and deeper, you're going to have these like, oh my God, that's what they were talking about moments. Because I heard about this stuff like the trafficking, the real darkness of the world, the elites, all of that, years before I had my like huge awakening in 2020. And then I went down that rabbit hole and I was like, oh my God, my crazy ass friends were right.
Yeah.
So have patience with it too if you don't understand everything. My second question for you is what parts of your work or what project are you most excited about now that you want to talk about?
Probably Evening Elephants. I think that like it's just so great. I love it. It makes me smile. It makes me have a good time. That means something. Like you're looking for things that are gonna give you life. Do you smile when you do it, or do you have fun? Do you laugh like that kind of shit? I do a lot of that with that project. And Sam is a really good. When I was talking to Source, when I was actually on I don't even know if I can say it, but I was on some type of trip. And,
of course you can.
And
we talk about all types of trips
vouching.
here.
I was okay, cool. I was doing DMT, and I heard this woman's voice, and I think it was like the representation of the divine feminine, and she was like vouching for. She wanted me to vouch for Sam. Sam, like, because she was like, "You're a leader. You are a leader of the new world." And then she was like, "Is Sam? What is Sam's like thing? And is he like? Is he?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's the best person I know and I've ever met." And I think like I just been hearing from like guides that it's going to be really great and beneficial and helpful for people, and people are going to love it. And especially because we're both very androgynous, like it's going to make sense. That and then honestly, like the beat stuff is great. I really really love it. I think that's more of like from a point of just because something I always wanted to do, and it was just like fun,
So the music, really focusing on the music right now.
Music, really focus on music.
Okay. All right, this is going to be a big one. So I want you to take a minute and just breathe.
Okay.
If you could say one thing to the whole planet all at once and you would be heard, what would it be?
I love you. I love you. I wish I could put it in like more than one thing, but I literally would say that. I would just say I love you. And don't worry, we're going home. I'd say that. Don't worry, we're going home.
Yeah.
That's literally what I would say. There's nothing, and if we're all connected, we know like who what's going on, and like kind of the stuff I've talked about today. Like, yeah.
Wow.
And I saw it. I saw it what they were building and what it was, and how we're integrating. We've already integrated into it, and so like a lot of us were imprisoned here, and it was like a prison planet or where we were, and it was really really rough, and like we don't have to worry about that anymore, and you know, look up the story of Baldur. It's really great. Like he falls to hell, and then his brother finds him in hell, and then when he's released, he's like, it's crazy because there's all these stories of Jesus, but like told across different cultures, and like he's like the Nordic Jesus or the Greek Jesus, and he when he rises, he takes all the souls from hell with him. He takes all the souls from hell with him, and you know that's the new world. So like that essentially happened. Like that has happened. So
We're there,
yeah,
heaven on earth.
yeah, we're already there. Yeah, it's like it's happened now.
Amazing. Thank you. That was honestly one of the most beautiful responses I've had so far. Just like, I love you. Like, we are here to also
I love you so much.
Yeah, I love you too. Okay, beautiful. We're here to spread love. We're here to like remind people that it doesn't have to be pain. And that just summarizes all of the practices and all of the things that we talked about today is ultimately just roads and tools and segues back to love and creating heaven on earth. Welcome to the new earth. So okay, shamelessly plug where you can find, where everybody can find you.
Yeah. So my Instagram is o.behave, like BEEHAVE. And then my artist project is Evening Elephants. It's just funny, like I was saying, with the original Twin Flames, Eve, and I have so much I could talk about with that. Like, hence why I have like an Eve tattoo in my head right now. Like that shit has happened. Evening Elephants on Spotify. We're growing that, but that's like, I think y'all like that. And then O Behave on Spotify in all caps, because I have 2 on there. I used to be a DJ, and now I'm just doing beats. But I might DJ again. I don't know. I've been having this like weird inclination that I like, because my rapper Black Sam put one of the biggest songs that was like his second song on the DJ profile on accident, and now that one like went from like 1,000 monthly listeners to 225,000 or something. Wow. so I might tap back into that and start making like some house stuff again.
Please do. I love house so much.
I love house.
Oh my god. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a message from the universe. Get back into DJing. Okay. You guys know where to find him. Thank you so much for tuning back in. If you liked this episode, please like, share, subscribe, send it to somebody you love. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.